Welcome to my channel. I hope you like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this little vest for baby boys and girls between 3 and 6 months old. You can make it smaller or bigger from a newborn size and up to 24 months. In the information box below, I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Also in the information box, I'll leave the link to the matching little hat, and I'll also leave the link to my Etsy shop if you prefer a written pattern. Thank you so much for your support. Now, to make this little vest, this is the yarn that I'm going to use. It's called Super Soft Baby Double Knit James C. Brett. Now, you can also use number 3 yarn or a ply. To make this little vest, I used a total of 98 grams. I used 34 grams in white and 64 grams in pink. Now, stay tuned. In another tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add sleeves so that we can turn this into a beautiful little cardigan sweater. Okay, let's get started, but don't forget to subscribe, activate the notifications bell so that YouTube can recommend my videos, and if you like this tutorial, please hit that like button. Thanks for watching. To begin, I'll be using this 3.5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this DK weight yarn. You can also use number 3 yarn or a ply. I already showed you at the beginning of the video the yarn that I'm using, and I told you how much yarn you need to make this little sweater in the size that we're making. Now, I have my chain ready. I have a total of 54 chains. This chain, without stretching or anything, it's measuring about 26 centimeters, which is about 11.5 inches. Now, if your chain is off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay. Just continue. So here, to begin, this is going to be the first row. So into the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to make a double crochet. Now, these 3 chains here counts as a double crochet, so I have 2 double crochets here. Into the next, make a double crochet. Here, I'm going to make a total of 6 double crochets. So I have 3, that's 4, 5, 6 double crochets, including the 3 chains. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now into the next chain, I'm going to make my first corner. So into this corner here, I'm going to make 2 double crochets. That's 1, 2, chain 1, and then again into the same stitch, 2 double crochets. Each one of the corners we're going to make in the same way. 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Before you continue, mark the center here. So into the chain space, put a stitch marker. This here, the 6 double crochets represents the front panel. Now we're going to make the shoulder or the sleeves. So into the next chain here, make a double crochet. In total for the shoulder, I'm going to make 12. So that's 1, 2, 12. Let me count again just to double check, make sure I have 12. So here's the corner. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Perfect. This here is going to be the shoulder. Now into the next chain, make a second corner. So that's 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into the same stitch here. Now, before you continue, put a stitch marker into the chain space to mark this second corner. And now for the back side, we're going to make a total of 12 double crochets. So that's 1, into the next, that's 2, into the next, that's 3, and so on until you have 12. I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 12 double crochets for the back side. Now into the next stitch here, make your 3rd corner. So make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Now before you continue, mark this corner here, so place a stitch marker into the chain space. Now for the second shoulder, we're going to make 12 double crochets. So into the next chain, make a double crochet, into the next a double crochet, and so on until you have 12 double crochets. I finished making these 12 double crochets for the second shoulder. Now into the next chain here, we're going to make the fourth corner. So make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Now put a stitch marker here into the chain space, and here we're going to finish by making these last 6 double crochets. So into the next chain, make a double crochet. That's 1, and here's the first row. Now let me show you again what we did. So here to begin, I had 54 chains. Into the fourth chain from the hook, I did a double crochet. In total for the first front panel, you should have 6 double crochets, including the 3 chains. That's 2, 4, 6. And then we did the first corner, and then we did the shoulder. For the shoulder, you should have 12 double crochets. Then we did the corner. For the back side, you should have 12 double crochets. And then we did the third corner. For the second shoulder, you should have 12 double crochets. And then we did the fourth corner, and then finished here with 6 double crochets for the second front panel. So in total, if you count each one of these double crochets, including the double crochets for the corners, you should have 64. So now for the second row here, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a single crochet. Make sure you go through both loops. Now these next single crochets that I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the back loop only. So into the second double crochet through the back loop only, make a single crochet, and the same thing on each one of these double crochets until you come to the first corner. So here so far I have 4 single crochets. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, and now we have the corner here. Remove that stitch marker, and into this corner chain make 2 single crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, 2 single crochets. Now before you continue, don't forget to mark this chain space here of this corner. Right here, this is the chain space. Now for the shoulder here, you're going to just make single crochets, making sure to go through the back loop. So here's the first double crochet. Make a single crochet through the back loop only. Now if it's easier, just go through both loops. It is going to look a little different than mine, but it should still look nice. So here we're just going to continue and make 1 single crochet through the back loop of each one of these double crochets until you come to the second corner. There, I have my corner. Remove that stitch marker, and here you're going to make 2 single crochets, chain 1, 2 single crochets. Before you continue, place a stitch marker into this chain space, and now continue along for the back side and make 1 single crochet on each double crochet through the back loop only. And that's how you're going to continue for the second row. I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. Now to finish this row here into the last chain here into the third chain here, make a single crochet. And this is how I finished the second row. Now at the end of this row, you should have a total of 80 single crochets. Now from here on, we're going to be increasing by 16 stitches at the end of every row. And we're going to be repeating these two rows, a row of single crochets and a row of double crochets. Now for the third row, I'm going to change yarn color here, actually for the third and fourth row. So I'm going to be changing color every 2 rows. This is optional. You can continue with the same. All you're going to do here is, if you're not going to change color, just chain 2 and turn. I am going to change yarn color here. So I'm going to open this last single crochet, insert my hook here, grab a loop with both colors, so the pink and the white here, and close this last single crochet. Now this is how I like to join my yarn, but there are other options. Whatever option works for you, that's fine too. The important thing here is that you change yarn color. Now make sure you leave the white there. Once we finish these next 2 rows, we're just going to switch colors here, so we're not going to be cutting the yarn or anything, just leave it there. So here with the pink yarn, chain 2 and turn. Now here to begin into this first single crochet, make sure you go through both loops here at the beginning and at the end. The last stitch and the first one, I always like to go through both loops. There we have a double crochet, and now into each one of these single crochets through the back loop only, I'm going to make a double crochet until I come to the chain 1 space of the first corner. So here I have 3 double crochets. The 2 chains do not count. Now remove this stitch marker and right into the chain space. Make sure you find the chain space here. Make your first corner. So you're going to make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. There. Return your stitch marker to mark the chain space here. And now we're going to continue along and work 1 double crochet, making sure to go through the back loop. Now remove your stitch marker for the second corner and into this chain space here, insert your hook, make sure you find the correct chain space. You're going to make your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, put your stitch marker back into the chain space to mark the corner, and now just continue along and work 1 double crochet through the back loop only on each one of these. And then you're just going to repeat the same thing into the remaining corners. Continue, finish the 3rd row. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 3rd row. This is where I did double crochets. Now here at the end, into the last single crochet through both loops, make your last double crochet. The first stitch and the last stitch, I always like to go through both loops. Now at the end of this 3rd row, you should have a total of 96 double crochets. For the 4th row, chain 1 and turn. In the 4th row, we're going to make single crochets. So beginning on top of the first single crochet through both loops, make a single crochet. Now into these remaining double crochets until I come to the first corner, I'm going to make single crochets through the back loop only. Now here's the corner. Remove the stitch marker and into this chain space here, make 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and here chain 1 before you continue. Put your stitch marker here, right there. Just insert your stitch marker right there. That way you are ensuring that you're putting your stitch marker into the chain space. Now make your last 2 single crochets to complete this corner. Now we're going to continue along for this shoulder, and here's the first double crochet through the back loop, make a single crochet, and into each one of these double crochets make a single crochet through the back loop only until you come to the second corner. And that's all you're going to do. Continue along, finish this fourth row. At the end of this fourth row, you're going to have 112 single crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of the fourth row. This is where I did single crochets. Now here at the end, into the last double crochet here through both loops, insert your hook, and now I am going to join the white yarn so that we continue for the next 2 rows with white. So grab a loop here with both colors and close this last single crochet with both colors. Now with the white yarn, I'm just going to leave this pink yarn here waiting after I finish the next 2 rows. So with the white yarn here now, chain 2 and turn. Remember, the 2 chains never count. Oh, I forgot to mention, at the end of this single crochet row, I have a total of 112 single crochets. So now for the 5th row, beginning on top of this first single crochet through both loops, make a double crochet. Now through the back loop of each one of these single crochets, I'm going to make a double crochet until I come to the first corner. So that's 2, 14 double crochets here for this front panel. Now remove the stitch marker and into the chain space here, make your corner. So you know this already, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, return your stitch marker here to mark the corner into the chain space, and now continue along for the shoulder. Starting here, here's the first single crochet, so through the back loop of this stitch here, make a double crochet, into the next a double crochet, and so on. Make sure that you pull this stitch like this a little bit back, these here, so that you can see the stitch here, the first stitch. Most mistakes happen right here in the corner, so into the stitches after you make it the corner. People don't start back here, they start here, so then when they get to this part and finish the row, they're missing stitches, and that's because they started the first stitch in the wrong place. So make sure that you do that before you continue. Now this is all we're going to do here. I'm not going to show you this row because I already did 4 rows for you. All we're doing is just a single crochet row and a double crochet row through the back loop only, and on each corner we do the same thing, 2 stitches, chain 1, 2 stitches. Now at the end of every row from here on, we're going to increase by 16 stitches. So at the end of the 5th row, you're going to have, let's see, 128 double crochets, and that's how you're going to continue. Make sure that you change color if you're changing color every 2 rows. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here for my yoke, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do for mine. So continue. Let's finish the yoke, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making the yoke. I did a total of 8 rows. My last row here is the 8th row, and it's a row of single crochets. At the end of this 8th row, I have a total of 176 single crochets. So now I have the measurement that I need for the size that I'm making. So I just measure this across. It's measuring about 9 centimeters, which is about 3.5 inches. Now let me tell you how many stitches you should have had after the 4th row. I think we did the 5th row together, so at the end of the 5th row you should have had 128 double crochets. Then at the end of the 6th row, 144 single crochets. At the end of the 7th row, 160 double crochets, and here at the end of the 8th row, 176 single crochets. Now let me tell you how many stitches I have for each one of the sections. Each one of the front panels I have 22 and 22. For the sleeves I have 44 and 44, and for the back side I have 44. So here to continue, I already joined the second color here, the white. So with the white yarn here, I'm going to now continue. Let me make sure this is not twisted here. So here I am going to chain 2 and turn. Now here I'm going to work a double crochet beginning into this first single crochet. Now through the back loop here of the next single crochet, make a double crochet and continue here working these 22 double crochets until you come to right under the sleeve. I will meet you right here to show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 22 double crochets for the front panel. Now we have the first corner here. Into this corner, make 1 double crochet. Now to separate the first sleeve, skip 44 double crochets and right into the second corner here, make a double crochet. So right here. Now notice that I did not add any chains here between the front panel and the back side. You can, if you want to, you can add more chains here. The important thing is when we finish this first row that it's in multiples of 3. With that said, I need to add an extra stitch here, and I'm going to add it here in the middle of the back side. So I have placed a stitch marker. So this stitch marker is into the 22nd stitch. Let me double check. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Yes, into the 22nd stitch, place a stitch marker. Now continue here and work 1 double crochet beginning into the next single crochet here, which is the first stitch here for the back side, until you come to the stitch marker. Right there. 1 into the next, that's 2 into the next, that's 3, and so on until you come here to the stitch marker. I will meet you right here. I finished making these 22 double crochets for the back side, plus the double crochet that I did into this corner. I have 23. So I'm right here where I have the stitch marker. So into this stitch here, these 2 stitches, I'm going through both loops here. So I'm going to make my increase. So into this stitch here, I have 2 double crochets. Now continue along and finish the rest of these double crochets for the back side until you come to the 3rd corner. I will meet you here to show you how to divide the second sleeve. Okay, I finished making these double crochets for the back side. Now for the back side here, I already did my double crochet into this 3rd corner. You should have a total of 47 double crochets. Remember, the back side had 44. We added an extra stitch in the center, that's 45, and then we added an extra stitch on each corner, so that's 47 double crochets for the back side now. Now to separate the second sleeve, you're going to skip these 44 stitches and into the 4th corner here, make a double crochet. And here is the second sleeve. Now continue along and finish these last 22 double crochets. Once you finish this front panel, you're going to have 23 double crochets because we have an extra stitch here in the 4th corner. Continue. I'll meet you at the end of this first row. I'm here at the end of this first row. This is where we divided the sleeves. Now at the end of this row, you should have a total of 93 double crochets. Each one of the front panels, we have 23 and 23, and for the back side, including this increase that we did, you should have 47 double crochets. So that's a total of 93 double crochets, which is divisible by 3. Perfect. So now to continue with the second row, chain 1 and turn. Now here I'm going to continue with the pattern, so I'm just going to make 1 single crochet beginning on top of the first double crochet. Then I'm going to work a single crochet through the back loop only on each one of these double crochets. At the end of this second row, I'm going to have 93 single crochets. So continue, finish this second row. I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this second row. This is where we did single crochets. Now here at the end, make your last single crochet and join the pink yarn. I'm going to continue with the pink yarn, but if you're not, then just chain one and turn. So here, you can cut the white yarn. We're not going to need it anymore. And I'm going to continue with the pink for the rest of the sweater. So chain one, turn, beginning on top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet. Now skip one and into the next single crochet, which is the third single crochet if you count from the beginning. 1, 2, 3 into the third. Here make a single crochet, chain two, 3 double crochets into this same stitch here. Now the stitch here that I'm going to use for this little sweater is the Crystal Waves crochet stitch, which is a pattern of mine. The last video is this little hat here, which I'm making the little sweater to match, and the baby blanket. You can find those tutorials in the information box below. So here, skip 1, 2 and into the third single crochet, make a single crochet, chain 2 and into the same stitch make 3 double crochets. Again, skip 1, 2 and into the third, make a single crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And this is all we're going to do here for this third row. Continue along, finish this row. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this third row. This is the first row to this pattern, the Crystal Wave stitch. I have a total of 30 shells. From here on, we're always going to have 30 shells. Now to finish this row here into the last single crochet, make a single crochet. Now for row 4, chain 1 and turn. Now this is the row that we're always going to repeat from here on. Beginning on top of the first single crochet, you always make a single crochet. Then you're going to have the first shell. We have 3 double crochets. Into the second double crochet here, make a front post single crochet. Now chain 2 and into the chain 2 space here, make 3 double crochets. So into each one of the chain 2 spaces of each shell, you make 3 double crochets. Now we have the second shell, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and into the chain 2 space of this same shell here, make 3 double crochets. Okay, one last time. We have the next shell, front post single crochet into the second double crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space of this same shell, make 3 double crochets. And that's all we're going to do here for the rest of this fourth row. And at the end, we're going to have 30 shells. Continue. I'll meet you here at the end to once again show you how to begin and how to end each row from here on, because the rest you're going to continue on your own. I'm here at the end of the fourth row. Here's my last shell. Up to here, I have 30 shells. So from here on, we're always going to have 30 shells. Now, to finish each row, you always go here at the end where we have the single crochet and make a single crochet. And that's how you finish each row. Now, to start each row, you always chain 1, turn, beginning on top of the first single crochet, make a single crochet, and then we have the first shell. We have 3 double crochets into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space of this first shell, you make 3 double crochets. Now we have the next shell, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and into the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. And that's it. That's all we have to do. We repeat the same row over and over. Now, I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, so I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I'm almost done with this part. I have done a total of 17 rows here, just the pattern rows. There's 17 rows, and it's measuring from the top of the shoulder to the end of this last row. It's measuring about 25.5 centimeters, which is about 10 inches. So here, to do the bottom of this sweater, this is what we're going to do. Now chain 2 and turn. This row 18 is going to be worked on the wrong side. So here we have the first shell, we have 4 double crochet. Start with a front post double crochet, then a back post double crochet, front post double crochet. Now we have the single crochet here in the center, make a back post double crochet. You're just going to continue with the pattern. Again, we have the next shell, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and back post double crochet here where we have the single crochet. That's all we're going to do here for this 18th row. Continue. I will meet you at the end. I finished row 18. This is where we did front post and back post double crochets. Now here at the end, on top of the last single crochet, I did a double crochet. I have a total of 122 stitches for this row, including the 2 chains here that we did at the beginning. So now what we're going to do next is for row 19, here I cut my yarn at the end. So I'm going to go here on top of this last double crochet, and with the white yarn here, grab a loop. Bring it through. There. Now chain 1 and make a single crochet on top of this first double crochet. Now we have a front post double crochet here, make a front post half double crochet. So in this row 19, we're going to make half double crochets. Back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, back post, front post, back post, half double crochet. You're just going to do the same thing, except that you're going to make half double crochets instead of double crochets. Now continue like this for row 19. I will meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of the 19th row. This is where I did front post and back post half double crochets. Now here at the end, into the second chain here, make a half double crochet. And this is how I finish row 19 with a total of 122 stitches, including this single crochet here at the end. Now for row 20, chain 1 and turn. Now beginning on top of this half double crochet, make a single crochet. Now work a front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. And this is all I'm going to do for this 20th row. Continue. I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 20th row. Now to finish here at the end, on top of this last single crochet, make a half double crochet. Now for row 21, chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of this first half double crochet, make a single crochet. Now here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work a front post, half double crochet, back post, half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. This is how we're going to continue for this row 21. I will meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of row 21 here for the hem. Now to finish here, just go on top of the last single crochet and make a half double crochet. Now we're going to make half double crochets along this front panel. So this here facing me, this would be the left front panel. So to do this here, chain 1. We have the last half double crochet that I did. Into this space here, make 2 half double crochets. Now into the next row, there's a single crochet, so make 1. Into the next row, make 1. Into the next row here, make 1. Now into the next row, again 1. So basically I'm making 1 half double crochet for each row here at the end. Here where we did this pattern, we have 2 single crochets here at the end of each row, so make 1 half double crochet on each one. Okay, so for this part where we have the pattern and the hem here, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Now we have the row here of single crochets, make 1. Now into the next row we have a double crochet, so here make 2 because this stitch here is longer, so make 2. Into the single crochet make 1, and into the double crochet row make 2. So this is how I'm going to continue for the yoke. And 1 here where we have the chain. So into this chain row make 1. And let's see, I think that looks pretty good. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38. So I have 38 half double crochets here. Now for the second row, chain 1 and turn. Now beginning on top of this first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the next one, the second half double crochet here, work a front post half double crochet. Into the next, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. So this is all we're going to do here for the second row, which is the same thing we did here for the bottom. Continue. I will meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of this second row. Now here at the end on top of the last stitch here, make a half double crochet. Now for the third row, chain 1 and turn. Now here I have 38 stitches for the second row as well. I forgot to mention that. So now for the third row, beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now the next stitch here, make a front post half double crochet. Next one, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. And this is all I'm going to do here for this third row. So continue. I'll meet you here at the top. I'm here at the end of this third row of this first front panel. Now on top of the last stitch here, make a half double crochet. I have 38 stitches and this front panel here is done. Now notice that I did not add any buttonholes. That is because the spaces in between the rows of half double crochet are big enough for buttons to fit through. I think 7, 8, or even 9 millimeter buttons are perfect here. Since this is a small sweater, you can probably use those sizes. Continue watching at the end. Once I give you the finished measurements, I'll let you know what size buttons I'm going to use for mine. So now what we're going to do is continue along the neckline and just do the same thing, front post and back post half double crochets. So to do this, chain 1. Now here's the last half double crochet that I did. Into this space here, make a half double crochet. Into the next row, make a half double crochet, and into the next row a half double crochet. So I did 1 half double crochet for each row here, so I have 3 half double crochets. Now we have this stitch here, work a front post half double crochet, the next one back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. Here I'm going to tell you how you're going to work the corners. Now there's no right or wrong way of doing this. The important thing is that this here looks nice. So here's the corner. We have 4 double crochets. Instead of making a stitch here for each one of these double crochets, I'm just going to go into this space here in the middle between 2 double crochets and make a half double crochet. And now we have the next stitch here for the shoulder. So I'm going to skip these 2, which are part of the corner, and into this next one, start with a back post half double crochet. Now this is only because I want these stitches here to match. My last stitch here of this front panel was a back post, and I did a half double crochet on top. So I'm going to start with a back post here for the next section. So back post, front post, back post, front post, and so on until I come to the next corner. Okay, here's the last stitch here for the shoulder. Now we have the next corner. Here right in the middle, make a half double crochet. And now since this last stitch here was a front post, so this next stitch here for the back side, I'm going to start with a front post and then back post. Then we have the third corner, make a half double crochet in the middle, and then start this next section here with a back post, and then front post, and so on. We have the fourth corner in the middle, make a half double crochet, and then this section here, start with a front post, back post, and here at the end into the second chain, insert your hook and make a half double crochet. So this part here is done. Let me see if I can count the stitches, but first let's see how it looks. I think that looks perfect. Very nice. Now if you notice that this part here is a little too small, then use a slightly bigger hook size to do this part here, but I think that for the size that we're making this for, it's perfect. I always make the neckline a little bit bigger because you can always fix the neckline at the end, so I think we're fine. So here, let's count. We have 2, 55 half double crochets for this row here around the neckline. Now we're going to work the second front panel here. So we're going to do the same thing we did here. We're going to make 3 rows of front post and back post half double crochets. Well, the first row is just a row of half double crochets, and here the important thing is that we have 38 stitches for this first row. Now chain 1, we have the last half double crochet that I did, make a half double crochet into the next row. It's a row of double crochet, so make 2 half double crochets here, and now into the next row is a single crochet row, make a half double crochet, then make 2, 1. So here what I'm doing is at the end of the row of double crochets, I'm making 2, and at the end of the row where we have single crochets, make 1. That way we do the same thing we did for the other front panel. So here, 2, and then 1. And here's a row of single crochets, 1. So this part here is just 1 half double crochet because we have single crochets here at the end. And then here we're just going to make sure that at the end we have 38 half double crochets. Now there is no right or wrong way of doing this. If you have 1 or 2 stitches less or more, it's okay. The important thing is that you make the same number of stitches like you did here for the first front panel. That's the important thing. That way it matches here. So continue. I will meet you at the end of this first row. I finished this first row for the second front panel. I have 38 stitches. Now chain 1 and turn for the second and third row. We're just going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to start with a half double crochet on top of the first stitch. Then we're going to work a front post half double crochet. Next one, back post half double crochet. Next one, front post, back post, front post, and so on until we finish this second row. Now here at the end, you're also going to have 38 stitches. To finish on top of the last stitch, make a half double crochet, chain 1, turn, start with a half double crochet, and then do these stitches exactly how they are, front post and back post half double crochets. And that's how we're going to work this second front panel. So continue, finish these 2 rows, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making the second front panel. Now here at the end, I just made a half double crochet on top of the last stitch, cut my yarn and pass my yarn through that last loop, and this part here is done. So now what I'm going to do next is, I was just thinking about how this here looks so nice and perfect for a little vest. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to make 2 videos. I'm going to make this here into a vest first, and then I'm going to show you the same tutorial, but I'm going to make it into a little jacket where we add sleeves. So this is going to be the first tutorial where I make this into a vest and not a little sweater or cardigan sweater. If you're watching this after December 2022, in the information box you will find the link for the little sweater. So for this one here, we're going to make this into a nice little vest. So here I'm going to use this white yarn and the same hook size. So to do this part here, we're going to go right here, right in the middle. So right there, but we're going to turn this like this because we're going to work this row from the wrong side out. So right in the middle, insert your hook right there. And I remove the stitch markers because we don't need them anymore. Grab a loop here and chain 1. And right into the same stitch here right in the center, make a half double crochet. Now we have this row here of double crochets, so into this space here make a half double crochet, and then we have the first single crochet here for the sleeve. Remember, for the sleeve we left 44 stitches, so make 1 half double crochet into each one of these stitches here all around the sleeve. This is all I'm going to do. We're just going to make 1 row here. This is so that this part here looks nice. So continue all around. I will meet you at the end of this row. I finished this row of half double crochets all around the sleeve. I had a total of 47 half double crochets, and I only did 1 row. Here at the end, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn and pass my yarn through that last loop. Now you're going to do exactly the same thing here for this side. It's done exactly in the same way, and this little vest here is all done, and this is how it looks. Now I also went ahead and did this little pocket here. This is optional. To do the pocket, what I did was I chained 16, and then on the second chain from the hook I did a single crochet on each one of the chains, so that at the end of that row I had 15 single crochets. Remember that this stitch multiple is multiples of 3, and then I chained 1, turned, and then I skipped 1 single crochet, and into the third, counting from the beginning, I did my first fan here, or my first shell, and then I worked the pattern exactly how we did this part here, the first row after we did the yoke. And then I just continue for, let's see, I think it was 5 rows. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, and then I finished with 2 rows of front post and back post half double crochets, and then I just did single crochets all around. Now this here you can seam with just normal thread or just use yarn and seam this part. It's optional. That's, I didn't attach it or anything. It's just something that it occurred to me after it was done. So you can do the same. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this stitch pattern. Stay tuned for the baby blanket. You are going to be in love with the baby blanket. And then I already have the little hat here. This little hat is 0 to 3 months, but you can make it in any size using the measurements that I leave you in the video. So now let me give you the finished measurements. This part here right across, it's measuring about, let's see, 11 centimeters, which is about 4.25 inches. The chest measurement, just the top, it's measuring about 24 centimeters, which is about 9.5 inches. And the length from the top of the shoulder to the end here, it's measuring about 28 centimeters, which is about 11 inches. So based on these measurements, this little vest is for baby boys and girls between 3 and 6 months old, but you can make it smaller or bigger from a newborn size and up to 24 months. Down here in the information box. I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, and I'll also leave the link to my Etsy shop if you prefer written patterns, so make sure to check that out. Now stay tuned. In another tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add sleeves so that we can turn this into a beautiful cardigan sweater, so stay tuned. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.